呢條友好勁啊！唔使緊張，將自己放鬆，當練嘢咁同佢玩。嚟過。都話勤有功，戲無益㗎啦。呢拳勁！
有冇事？熱稱我上去練過，大佬唔好放手啊！唔該你拉翻我上去啊
In my school, the kind of students I attract, doctors, lawyers, actors, stunt people, dancers, break dancers, I have so many different type of people in my gym. They come in, it's like a melting pot. I'm the bridge. It becomes sanctuary to most people that come here. Most of my students, they come here, they get a chance to release anger, fear, frustration, anxiety. They get a chance to release all that. At the same time, they get a chance to really understand on their journey on this earth, that how to deal, instead of reacting, learning how to proact. Moving from left to right. Most people get fed physically. That's external stuff, okay? But internal means how you perceive things mentally, how you deal with your anger, your fear, your frustration, your anxieties. How do you deal with them? And that's what the Breakfast Club is about, is learning how. In other words, everything under your bed, in your closet, when somebody puts a threat to you, comes up. Somebody threatening you, all that emotion will come up, unless you're drunk. And then it comes up either way. My job is to give you different windows. For the windows of your eyes and how you perceive it, I'll give you different windows of the same thing, so that way it makes sense to you. So you can move forward in your life, so you can recognize when somebody touches those nerves outside, you won't react to them because you already recognize them and you know how to deal with them. So it's a way of life. That's what Yukido-kan means. It means a way of life, and that's what I'm teaching them. Because, being in the ring, you only last so long in there in the ring. The square jungle represents their home, represents their work, represents around their peers. It represents knowing how to deal with that energy that's around you. It's about really teaching them about themselves. It's a way of life. What I really would like to add to all the fans, that's actually watching this, that I would really like to say, hey, we didn't come here just to get married, have a family, have a dog in a boat, and the journey is to really understand ourselves, understand about love. Because I don't care, love is not for free. Love you gotta earn, you gotta keep working on love to keep it going. And everything you do, if you don't do it for love, then it will disappear. You'll get tired of it. And I'm always a strong believer. Everything in moderation. Because if you love something or someone so much, it changes to needy, to wanted, gotta have. And if it's not enough love, then it feels like I'm not good enough. You see? So there's gotta be a happy medium. And life is the same way. That's what I teach here. And for everybody that's watching this, if you can actually really understand, if you can't do it for love, then I guarantee you it won't last long. It has to be for the love of it. Everybody's looking for that peace of mind on this journey. And the peace of mind really has to start from you. And so I tell everybody that watches this interview, I'm telling you, when you go on this journey, do it for the love of it. That's all I can tell you. I am teaching stunt acting right now at the, actually at the Lee Strasberg Academy. I'm teaching picture fighting, which is for movie industry, for the movies, and then I'm teaching stage combat, which is for live audience. So that way, they're actually where live audience is a different type of choreography and type of training, using the audience's emotions, using their energy to feed on and as a bounce back. But when you're doing it on camera, you're using the actor, or sometimes you're just looking in a camera. And you're talking to all the people out there, so it's a lot more acting. So I'm doing both, and so far, man, it's been really, really well. I have people from all over the world. I get a chance to actually teach them, really, all my experience that I've had through all my career, and I actually teaching them so they be able to act it out, the emotions that go behind it. And so far, it's been wonderful. I've been getting calls and emails and stuff like that from everywhere. I'm a strong believer that I was given so much at this point in time in my life. And I still got a lot of piss and vinegar in me. I still got a lot of in me. And I'm just giving back to the people my experience and my knowledge. Because I have had a chance. This is my 47th year actually in the arts, and I count my blessings. I get up feeling great, no aches, no pain, no arthritis, no nothing. My head's not twitching. I can still understand myself. So I count my blessings. So far, so good, and I'm just giving back to the public. My father was a professional boxer. My mother was a professional wrestler. There's 9 black belts in my family. Did I have a choice? I don't know. I was, at the age of 5 years old, I was boxing Pee Wee division. And by the time I was 7 years old, I was already starting Kempo Karate. And from there, I went to Shotokan, went into Lima Lama, I went to Taekwondo, went into Judo, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu. Then I started Sovat, and I just continued on. So it was something in my, I guess it was just in my blood. In 58, I was boxing. 60, I started judo. 63, I started Kempo Karate. And then I was competing all the way up until 73. Late 73, full contact karate came in. And that was the name of it. And everybody kept on saying, what's full contact karate? And we kept on explaining. So they said, oh, you mean you box and then you kick? And so the word kickboxing was born in 75 when I fought the first Muay Thai fighter. So I'm the last of the Mohicans. I started when it was full contact karate, which it was a World Series of Martial Arts. That was in late 73, early 74. And then PKA was going at the same time. And I became the champion of the World Series of Martial Arts. And then I went into PKA. And then it went into WKA. And then it went into NKL. Then it went on and on. So I hold, I forgot how many titles I hold. As every association that came out, I took the title. And they came and they're gone, and I'm still around. Nobody's ever undefeated because there's always somebody out there for some reason. I only count title defenses. I hold 63 title defenses. I defended my title 63 times, and I'm 63-0 with 57 KOs. Now I've had over 200 fights, but it was much easier to count title defenses. I believe that, it's like anything else. What controls the mind controls the body, which houses the spirit. And I believe mentally, I can't be beaten. Even if you beat me, I don't believe that until you beat me again. Then I say, okay, I'll take my hat off and I say, okay, then it's time for you. But as far as I'm concerned, to this day, I don't believe I can be beaten. So I believe it's a mental thing. My mind is telling the body that it can't be defeated, no matter what. I'm gonna tell you, I've had some great shots, shin kicks in the head and knees to the head and stuff, and I just don't believe my body can handle it. Not that I like taking hits, because if I took all the shots that most people did, I wouldn't be talking right now. My head be twitching, I'd still be stuttering. So I think that it's my will and desire, how bad I want it. When people were eating, I was running. When people were sleeping, I was working out. I wanted it bad. My hip is going forward, I got to the point where I hold 6 titles in 5 weight divisions, and I can't get any heavier, otherwise I'd be a sumo wrestler, I can't get that heavy. So in 73, I did a movie called Down the Drain. And it was by mistake, really. I went there to see my friend, and for some reason, the director liked my look, and he put me a certain place, and he thought I was all part of it. So I started being part of it, and I started kicking and punching and so forth. And at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun, and they told me to come back. And so I said, sure, I'll come back. And it was really funny how it all happened, because I didn't sign in, I didn't sign out, I didn't do anything. I was just there. For how I got in and out, it was, by a higher level than me, that's for sure. And it was by mistake, but I love fighting. I started fighting, and then at the same time I was doing movies, back and forth. I started to do the movies, and then once what happened, I started as an actor, not knowing that I was acting. I was just having fun. And then I saw a director having a hard time teaching this actor. I saw it really quickly, so I said, if you would show him this way, he would understand it. And so the stunt coordinator looked at me and said, well, you do it. So I took him 5 minutes later. I said, is this what you want? He did it like this. The stunt coordinator took me in and winged me, and he didn't want to let me go. So every time he said, okay, this is what I want. So I was training as a stuntman, and I had no idea what that meant, stuntman. So they said, can you do this? And I said, sure. And I was falling down concrete stairways with no pads on or nothing, because I didn't know. All I knew is, at the end of the day, I was sore. The next day, I would go and repeat it, going through windows with no pads on. I told this stunt guy, I looked at him, I said, man, you're getting pretty heavy. You got to stay away from that craft table there, because you're getting pretty heavy. And he picked up his shirt, and I see pads on. I said, why do you have those on? He says, well, I'm going to go over the table. I said, you don't need all that to go over the table. And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, everybody has them? He said, yeah. So I started looking at everybody, and sure enough, I was going through windows, falling over walls, going through down stairways, concrete. I was doing stuff that I never had pads on, because I didn't know people had them. So I had a rude awakening, should I say. I had a rude awakening transferring from, should I say, the art. So I took my fight from the ring to the screen. But to do that, I realized that it was so different. I saw Jackie, I used to see some Chinese film in Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, and I didn't know who he was because, again, you know, it was not in English nor subtitles. It was just, you know, they were talking in Chinese and stuff. But I was really like the movies. You know, I liked the action in it, and I didn't even know who any of them were. You know, the Blind Swordsman, all of them. I mean, it was just, I just liked the action. I was very physical to begin with. And so when I first got, actually, I first went to Japan. I fought the Thai champion here at the Olympic Auditorium. And it was, you know, it was the first time I've ever been thigh kicked, really. And so when they call it a no contest because they had a big riot, you know, because I was beating them. And the Thais thought I was cheating because I was throwing them, and the Americans thought he was cheating because he was kneeing me and elbowing me. So it became a big riot. But since then, I think that's when they had me go to Japan, and that's when I fought Suzuki the first time. And so Jackie heard about me and wanted to know who's this American beating the Japanese champion. And so I got an invitation over there and wanted me to do a movie. So I went over there, and so he wanted to test me out. And so they actually put up a bag and wanted me to kick it. So I kicked it, and I drew him, you know, 10 feet back when I hit him. And he said, oh, very strong, you know. So the interpreter's telling me, because Jackie didn't speak English at all. So the interpreter was telling me that, you know, he wanted to do it again. So they took turns holding the bag while I was kicking it. And so they knew that, okay, I have power. So I was telling the interpreter, well, this is what I do for a living. So, and then after that, Jackie and I it got to the point where it was so, we just connected right on. He liked my energy, and I liked the fact that he liked contact. He liked the physical, and I was so excited. So when we started, at first, he was testing me for the first week. He just kept testing me. And so then he said, well, the interpreter was telling me, you know, asked me, can I do flips? I said, sure, I can do flips. And he said, how many can I do? And I said, well, I asked how many Jackie can do. And they said, well, Jackie can do as many as you want. I said, let me see 25. Okay, Jackie went back, flip-flop all the way down. So he says, so he tells me, you go. So I went up to 18. By the time I got to 18, I was all dizzy. I was dizzy and stuff. I said, well, I'm not a gymnast. I can do them, but I'm not a gymnast, you know, per se. That's not what I do for a living. So then he just liked it in my heart, and he saw me that I can throw, I can fall, and it's a good thing I had all the martial. By then I was already, you know, I had already seven black belts underneath me already at the time. So falling and throwing and all that was my cup of tea. And after the second week, we really hit it off, and there. Every time at lunchtime, Jackie will come over and put his arm around me and talk. To me, us Americans, we think it's little, okay, it was funny for him to put his arm around me. I'm thinking, maybe he's little. You know, I'm looking at him, okay, what you got your arms around me for? But he was just so personable. But he wanted to talk to me. He wanted to practice English, and he wanted to listen to what I was saying. But at first, I was uncomfortable, him putting his arm around me and talking to me. And he very personable, funny. And then I got used to it. Halfway through the movie, I had my arm around, he had his arm around, we were laughing and stuff, and we would be, after we eat, we'd go out there play kickball, you know, we play soccer. And it got to the point, then he says, he wants to fight me. I said, you really want to fight me? And he said, yeah, we fight. After, you know, I said, anytime you want. I said, you sure? That's what I do for a living. He said, yeah, we're going to fight. So now you have everybody betting on Jackie and me, who's going to win. So the movie's going on. You know, this is now almost 2 months into it. I said, Jackie, we're going to spar. And he said, oh, yeah, we're going to spar. Oh, yeah. So everybody's pumped up to see this. You know, and then I'm saying, okay, now it's 2 weeks before the movie's going over. I said, Jackie, the movie's going to be over. Are we going to fight? We're going to spar. He said, yeah, of course, yeah, we're going to fight. So now we're 1 week before. And I to the side, I looked at him and I said, you're not going to fight me. And he said, good job. And I said, so what was this all about? But he had everybody pumped. Everybody was so pumped for the 3 months of doing it that he had everybody going, and everybody was so hyper, all the way up to the end. And I looked at him, and I really thought, believe me, you know, such a good actor, I really thought he was going to fight me. And it didn't happen, but it would have been interesting. It would have been real interesting to see, you know, but again, you know, whether he would or not, you know, all I got is thumbs up, like, good job, you know. And I said, okay, that was my answer. Actually, you know what, that fight there, I asked Jackie, because, you know, because we're going to be hitting the ground and stuff like that, you know, how hard do you want to go? And he says, we go hard. I said, okay. So I said, we'll go hard enough, but he's, you know, and I said, to the face, he said, no, the body, we go hard. And so I said, fine. We start walking through it, the ideas. And then he did his ideas, I did my ideas, and I incorporated my stuff. And I start choreographing what I wanted to do. And then he said, okay, then he wanted to do that. And I said, okay, well, then I want to do this. And we just back and forth. And that's how we fought through the whole thing. Just, he bring in the way he wanted to, I bring in the way I wanted to. And then all of a sudden I think of ideas and the way he wanted. Then he had his group. And they all be right there, okay, then looking like, all right, then I would show them. Then after they showed me, they worked around me. Everything I wanted to do, Jackie said, okay. And everybody was looking. And everybody took turns saying, okay, if he does that to you, then we can do this, this, and this. Jackie said, okay. Then by then, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. By the time we got to the end of it, we were putting things together quickly. We just knew we had a nice rally back and forth. When I first met Samuel, I heard that, you know, he's very good and, you know, but I said he's kind of heavy though, you know, to be good as everybody's talking about, you know, especially, you know, I'm asking and they're saying he's very good, you know, good gymnast. And I'm thinking, well, how is he going to be a gymnast? How is he going to carry his weight? And then we started. I started watching him. I said, unbelievable. I said, look, doing jump rolls, backflips, kick-ups. And I said, he must be very strong. And I was so intrigued and so excited about it that I wanted to spar against. I wanted to get and do some fights in the movie with him. You know, I wanted to get out there and do it. But unfortunately, you know, he was doing all the funny part, and Keith and the other one had a chance to work against him. So, but I really wanted to work with Samuel because I liked his spirit, and he was so deceiving from his body weight and stuff. Very deceiving. You know, I believe in my heart, I think Jackie's a better actor. I think Samuel's a better director, and I think, okay, well, I can't fight everybody, but I would have loved to have fought Samuel and Jackie. Keith Vitelli, because we did have some downtime, Keith kept on saying, you know, hey, let's go to some of these dojos and actually let's see if we can go out there and do some sparring against them. And so Keith and I, on our off time, we went out there looking for dojos. We found a couple of them, and they knew about me and stuff. And so Keith and I decided to, you know, to with their best black belts and stuff that we know we can spar. And you know what? Keith had a nice time, but me, I just ran circles around him. And everybody was getting mad because I was hurting them. And I wasn't really meaning to hurt them. Sweeping them, knocking them down, this and that. And they had no idea. And they was just, and so I guess, I don't know if it was their girlfriends or their wives were getting real mad because I wasn't even trying to hurt them. They were just getting hurt on their own. And I was just, my energy, or should I say, my energy was so big that I spooked everybody. And but it was fun. We had a great time in Spain, and we tried to find any kind of dojo we can find, but we only found a couple that would allow us to go there and spar. Dragons Forever, it was time for Jackie and I to get together and do a little something different. He wanted me to go in there and do a different type of fighting. And I said, well, what type of fighting this time we're going to do? And he asked me, can we do something different than last? I said, absolutely. I said, what kind of person I'm going to play? He says, well, his interpreter said, I die so good, that, I'm going to be the bad guy. And so I said, okay, I got it. But I said, this time, what kind of bad guy I'm going to be? And he said, I'm going to be a dealer, a heroin dealer and all this and that. And I said, okay, I can do that. So I said, but I want to be almost devilish. I want to be very spooky. I want to be very... And so he says, okay. And I said, well, how can we do it? I said, well, my eyes are deep set. I said, so almost let's put highlight, eyebrow pencil, whatever. But he darkened my eyes, okay? Where my eyes will come out. And I said that I can be very spooky if you concentrate more on my eyes. And I said, then my facial expression I'll get to a point where I'll be so spooky that it will be completely different than what we did last time. And it worked out really well. We had a time limit, and Jackie and I, we was in there. Actually, we slept on the set together. When I say not together, but we just stood on the set and we slept there overnight because we were so tired to go back to the hotel and come back. It was almost like 2 hours, so we decided just to stay on the set. So we ended up staying on the set, and we got up. We ate, stretched out, and we went right back to it. So that was a really hard-hitting movie. There was a time where I did a jump spinning back kick. I hit him in the chest, and at first, the first time I tried it, he was saying, the director was saying, it doesn't look real, because they want to feel it. So I said, well, I don't want to hurt him, and so he said it was okay. I said, okay. And I'm pretty accurate. I said, I won't hit you in the jaw. I'll hit you square in the chest. And he said, and I jumped up, hit him. He went flying the first time, and I thought I broke his sternum. I thought I actually broke something. And so he got up, and he said, and it was a good shot, but they moved the camera, so I had to do it again. But this time, he put a lot of pad on. He put a lot of pad on his chest, and I said, okay, but I said, so that way I don't have to hold back. And so this time I did it again, and I hit him. But he went flying, and it was actually 2 takes. Usually they want maybe 3 or 4. It only took 2 takes on that one because it's very hard to control a jump spin and all my weight coming at him to control that. So and I have pretty good control, but that's one kick is very hard to control. He paid for it for a while anyway. The fight scene I had with Samuel in Dragons Forever was actually I had a chance to actually really, this time I had a chance to really go out there and work with them because I kept on saying, from the first movie I wanted to work with them on Meals on Wheels, so they allowed me to work with Samuel, and I had a blast. Between Samuel and I, you know what? We walked through it. Walked through it a couple of times. We just had nice gel. By then I was used to their style. They were used to me. And it was great. It didn't really take a long time to work with Samuel because by then they were already used to me. They said, "Oh, you already know how to do Hong Kong style." I said, "No, you already know how to do my style of fighting." And he said, "No, this is Hong Kong style of fighting." I said, "No, it's my style of fighting." So that was the good part. We had fun teasing each other, but it was great to work with Samuel, on that movie. That it didn't really take long to do. Dragons Forever was the last time that they were actually, all 3 of them was together, and it was very sad because they worked so well together and they gelled, they complement each other so well. And I was sad because I didn't see them in any other movies together. It's almost like there was a parting, like the brothers, and they went different directions. And it was sad because I was looking forward to coming back again. A third time's a charm. I was looking forward to coming back and fight all 3 of them and, really get, and do something a little different with all 3 of them. Maybe I will be the cause to bring them back together. I call them the 3 Musketeers because together they gel so nice. I mean, there was such rhythm between all 3 of them, such harmony. And you watch them, it's almost like they were just moving in synchronicity. I really had a chance to see them work together. And I was very blessed and fortunate to work with all three of them. You know, I've had some great moments with actually all three of them. You know, some memorable moments that, you know, and never, you know, on the screen was great, but I had more fun behind the screens when we would eat, and after we eat, and then we go play soccer, and we do things together outside, and I got a chance to work with them, and when I had a chance to work with them when they were just themselves. They wasn't in front of a camera acting or nothing. They were just themselves, and this is one thing I cherish, you know. And they would always want me to, especially Samuel. He would come and say, "Try this," and I said, "It's still moving," you know. And he would always say, "Try this," and I said, "I don't know, man. The stuff looked like it's still moving," and he said, "No, you must try." So I would try it, and they would all want to see my expression, me trying. And then, and that was always Samuel. Samuel's always wanted to bring me something that I've never seen or eaten, but it always looked like it was moving for some reason. Jackie was always the one that he was very, not secretive. His thing was wanting to always take me somewhere, just him and I, and sit down and talk. So, and we would talk about everything and anything because he just wanted to practice with me. He wanted to practice his English with me. And half the time, you know, I was trying to figure out what the heck he was saying. You know, and then sometimes I found out that I was using my hands like this, and you know, as I was talking, and he would use his hands like he was trying to explain to me what he wanted, what he was trying to say. But then he would use his hands, and you know, and it looked like if somebody was watching it from the outside, it looked like we would actually sign language each other because that's all we could communicate. Because I didn't really understand him as well, and things that I thought he said, I was off completely. You know, I was off completely. So those are the memorable things that, you know, that I take with me to this day.